let me just say to all you free agents, you superstars, all stars, Brooklyn's got it all, baby. Brooklyn's got it all. All right? You want the money? Come get the money. You want to come play at a new arena? Got the best, one of the best in the league. Want to get yourself a nice place to stay, overlooking the East River, the Manhattan Bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge, a nice area in Dumbo, Brooklyn. Come get yourself a nice apartment, a nice house. JJ Redick lives down there. You want to make a new friend or something, he'll be there for you. I mean, you want to come play with a bunch of fun young guys? We got it. Come on, we got it. I mean, Jared Allen with the afro, he's not crazy about having all the fun. He's trying to grind, which is good. You want an all-star combo guard to help you win? We got that. His name is D-Lo. We got the ice in his veins, buddy. Come on. Listen, Brooklyn's got it all right now. I mean, in all seriousness, we got to talk about the Brooklyn Nets signing free agents as well as the Knicks. But, we're here for the Nets right now. So it's imperative that we think about how this team's cohesiveness this season, how this team's competitiveness this season, guys' willingness to take lesser roles, guys' willingness to step up and ability to step up and take bigger roles is very important. There's a culture renaissance happening in the Nets organization because ever since that team that came over from the Boston Celtics, that big heist, that one of the biggest, probably the biggest heist in NBA history, where the Nets got robbed of all their good picks. That was the last time some was here in Brooklyn for people to look at. But nonetheless, man, we show up to the games. We support Brooklyn no matter what. We got the culture down there. We got a head coach who's just tough and has a great relationship with his players. A front office that knows what they're doing finally, and I mean, now I can slow my roll with thinking about buying the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just kidding, but nonetheless, I mean, when it comes to a system, we got to talk about guys like Jimmy Butler and guys like Klay Thompson and guys like Kevin Durant who are gonna come play in Brooklyn. Yes, the Knicks have a shot at all three of those guys. Maybe Klay Thompson lesser than the other two, but nonetheless, I mean, we're talking about a guy KD, who could just come in and do his thing. He's just come in and do his thing. Don't worry about the. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be much of a discrepancy in how D'Angelo Russell plays, because Kevin Durant, he ain't a guy who wants to be out there to begin with. I mean, he's a guy who can do more than one thing, and he can do what he needs to do for a team to win. You got a guy like Klay Thompson who can literally just be another Joe Harris. I mean, he could just come in, be a spot-up shooter, be a guy who can get you buckets off the dribble, great defender. That's what we need down here. But we need great defenders over here in Brooklyn, because this team is on the verge of competing for the Eastern Conference should they get a superstar. And you talk about a guy who's Jimmy Butler. I mean, he embodies the Brooklyn culture. He embodies what it means to be tough and what it means to compete. And I'm tired of people, trying to diminish him because of his ego. Nah, you seen what Brett Brown is doing. You seen that Jimmy Butler knows he's not going to be utilized until a certain point and in certain ways. And Brett Brown has made that clear. He's made that clear that Jimmy Butler is a closer. Jimmy Butler is a guy who can say, take us to the promised land at the end of the games. But you create a team. We're talking about teams that compete in the playoffs. We want to create teams. It's not always about the level of the player. It's about the team. You got a great big man. You got to have shooter or shooters when you get Klay Thompson. You're going to have a scorer in Jimmy Butler, a combo guard in D'Angelo Russell, and guys who are willing to play off the bench, guys who know what the role is, guys who can compete very well. With all that being said, man, don't sleep on the Brooklyn Nets, because they got cap space to work with. And they're coming. The New York rivalry is going to be one of the best in the league, maybe the best in the league to watch next year, because the Knicks are talking about a Kevin Durant. The Knicks are talking about a Zion Williamson. The Knicks are talking about a Dennis Smith Jr., a Kevin Knox. We're talking about a possible 8 seed deep Eastern Conference next year. 8 seeds deep in terms of competition. Because the Pistons ain't a bunch of bums. Even though they need somebody next to Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, they ain't a bunch of bums. And we're not talking about We're not talking about the Miami Heat being a bunch of bums either. We're talking about the Indiana Pacers being nice next year. We're talking about teams that could possibly do something. Maybe if they get something right, which I doubt, like the Washington Wizards. So we're talking about a very, very interesting Eastern Conference next year, man. Western Conference is going to be crazy no matter what because the young talent over there, they're going to be competitive every year. You got coaches, geniuses like Greg Popovich. You got the Warriors who, man, it sucks to know that they might break up. But I don't, listen, I don't mind seeing a Curry and Boogie duo in Golden State as they add a couple other pieces via trades and whatnot.